Hey guys, welcome to My Sew Bliss. Today I'm going to share with you 5 tips and tricks on how to sew with knits. I love sewing with knit fabric. There's so many good projects you can do. Some of my favorites are baby projects, men's clothes like sweatshirts, children's clothes, sweatshirts, shirts for myself, dresses for myself. There's just so many possibilities. It's so fun, and the fabrics out there are also really fun and really great. So let's get started on our tips and tricks for sewing with knit fabric. The first thing that you want to focus on is how to cut out your knit fabrics. Here I have my pattern piece pinned to my fabric, and then I just cut it out with scissors. This is a great option if you want to do it like this. I just lay it on the floor and then cut everything out. Another option is to use a rotary cutter and a ruler. Here I just measured the size that I need, and then I cut it out with my rotary cutter and my cutting mat, and that was super easy. Another option is using your pattern piece, using weights. I just use these giant washers from Home Depot and cutting it out that way. This is the way that I really like to do it, especially with silky knits. It just makes it a lot easier. You don't have as much movement going on. So that is really nice. My second tip is to use interfacing on things like the hem. You can use it on the neckline if you're using an interfacing that stretches, so that way your fabric will still stretch as well. But this just gives it way more stability and is so much easier to work with and sew. So I really like adding this in specific spots. Tip number 3 is to make sure you're using a stretch needle or a ballpoint needle. This is super important when you are working with knits because you don't want your fabric to snag with the needle. You want to make sure it works well with stretchy fabric. You want it to glide through that fabric and not cause any issues. And that is what a stretch needle will do, or a ballpoint needle. So it won't snag your fabric and it'll just sew so much nicer. So if you have issues sewing with knits, check your needle and make sure to replace them every couple projects, depending on how long that project is. You may notice that after you have sewn a knit project, you might have some wavy seams. So I suggest making sure you iron those seams. That's really going to help with that waviness. And especially if you have a steam iron, putting some steam on it is going to help as well. Just make sure you're using the right setting on the iron for the type of fabric that you have. For our last tip, I suggest stabilizing your shoulder seams. So I like to use just some elastic. You can use that, or twill tape works really well, but this is just going to help so your shoulders don't sag, especially over time. They just will look really nice in the long run. So those are the 5 tips and tricks for how to sew with knits. I hope you guys found this helpful. These are just some tips that I have used and that I have found useful when sewing with knits. Here's the sweater that I was working on and kind of showed you step by step how I helped it become the best that it can be. I had really fun with this. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.